Yo, what's good? Top of the top, episode 208, Stash House Podcast. Your boy Tyler checking in. First time listeners, thank y'all for tuning in. If you tune in weekly, salute. And it's just an episode, so some topics you may want to hear about. Salute to you as well. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, whatever you do to help support the podcast. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Podcast available on all streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor app, YouTube. Once again, subscribe. Leave comments, reviews, feedback, put your people on. All greatly, greatly appreciated. This week episode, a lot to get to. NBA Playoffs still going on. Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia over the weekend. But first, in my opinion, only one place to start. The Snowfall series finale. Snowfall series finale. Right now, if you haven't watched Snowfall or if you watched it and fell out with it, go on Hulu. All 6 seasons are available. 6 seasons, 10 episodes. Highly, highly recommend. One of the great TV shows we had in our generation, in my opinion. I think it's safe and comfortable to say that right now. When I think of Snowfall, I'll think of The Wire. I'll think of The Sopranos, the early seasons of Power, Breaking Bad. I think Snowfall and I think Franklin Saint is in that realm of characters with the Tony Sopranos, the Walter Whites, James St. Patrick, in my opinion. I'm comfortable saying that. Each of them had at least one season I probably wasn't feeling. They all they in the same realm, in my opinion. That's just me, though. But if you haven't, check it out. Highly, highly recommend. First off, rest in peace to the great John Singleton. He is the creator of the show, director of the show. Up until his passing, his vision definitely came to life, as we've seen over the years. Damson Idris, the guy who played Franklin Saint, definitely got to give him a salute. He is a British actor, and he's nailed the role of Franklin Saint down to a T. Not only to have the California accent, the California slang, but to have it during that time period, salute to him. And I saw that it was like when I think he either got the role or he was highly considered for the role, but John Singleton made him be around him for 6 months up to a year, something like that I heard, while in character. So he was walking around being Franklin Saint, talking like Franklin Saint to master his role as Franklin Saint. And as we've seen with numerous different scenes, some iconic scenes, brick by brick, bodies. It's so many Franklin Saint scenes throughout these 6 seasons where he just stamped himself as, okay, this guy can take the baton and roll with it in any situation. So I got to shout out to Damson Idris and to the whole cast. A lot of people getting their start from Snowfall, coming on the scene, the production team, the writers to a fault, but shout out to the writers overall. But yeah, shout out to everybody that had anything to do with Snowfall. Y'all gave us some great television for 6 seasons. And yeah, like I said before, I hold them in very, very high regard. But the series finale, the only phrase I can come up with to really describe this, the downfall of Franklin Saint. What was the downfall of Franklin Saint? I see some people saying his family, his friends betrayed him. They didn't look out for him when he looked out for them all this time. I see some people saying, it's Franklin's own doing. The power, the money, the respect can sometimes be your downfall. Yes, I feel like his family could have did better throughout the entire series, not just the past 2-3 episodes. Yes, I feel like Leon was a friend for him. Maybe he could have helped. I mean, he did help. He loaned him $500,000. But at the time, could he did more? Who knows? His fiance wife, V, that's just a woman thing. You're not supposed to put your hands around a woman to begin with, especially a woman who's pregnant with your child. So in the terms of who do I blame for this, I'm blaming Franklin Saint. And I give you my reason why. Franklin Saint mourned the loss of Teddy, a guy he claimed manipulated him from his youth. Franklin started, 16 years old, selling weed, something like that. The guy, he said, Teddy manipulated him. Teddy ruined his community. when Teddy was like, okay, I admit I gave you the cocaine. I didn't tell y'all to cook it up and crack it up and do it and sell it. That's a villain. And people was like, oh my God, I was like, yes, that's a villain role. Now, of course, this does go loosely based off the story of Freeway Rick Ross. Do your research if you haven't already with that. But in terms of television, when he said that with episode 9, I was like, ooh, that's a cold white boy. I said, that's a cold white boy. Yeah, I brought the cocaine over, but I ain't tell y'all to do all this extra stuff that y'all did with it and the outcome it'll be on your community. I didn't tell y'all that. That's a villain. And sometimes, ever since The Dark Knight came out with Heath Ledger, I want to say a lot of times I root for the villain. Not saying I was rooting for Teddy, but when he said that, I said, ooh. I feel like I heard an old Wayne bar when he said that. I said, damn, that's cold. But when Sissy shot Teddy on episode 9, yes, she could have waited 10 seconds. You won't hear no argument from me with that. Yes, she could have waited 10 seconds. But at the same time, one, why would you even bring your mom to that? It's supposed to be in a transaction, and there's a lot of stuff supposed to go on with that meetup. I wouldn't even brought my mom there, knowing that she's been trying to kill Teddy for however long now. And she was blindsided because she was like, yeah, that's what the government do. They manipulate you. They tell you what you want to hear. So why would you fall for that at the end when he told you before, no, your husband not dead. I took him to a jail somewhere. He's alive. I can't believe him. I don't trust him. He's working for the government. He's trying to manipulate me. To come back at the meetup when Teddy about to make the transaction for your son to maybe, because I think about a lot, what if she didn't shoot Teddy? Will Franklin would have got the money he said, the $30 million they were going to split? She could have waited, and she was like, oh, before you do this, if I was Frank, I would tell my mama, hey, wait, chill out, let him do this first before you ask any questions. They don't got nothing to do with you. Honestly, I love my mom to death. Happy birthday to my mom, by the way. But that mama, I would say, mom, hey, wait, let him handle this first before we do not interrupt this right now. I'm about to get $30 million, and we go take care of what we need to take care of. So she stopped him. Wait. And Teddy on the phone like, what? What do you want? I've been tortured for about 48 hours. I haven't ate. I haven't drunk no water. What do you want? Tell me what jail he in. Are you kidding me right now? No, he's dead. I lied. I killed him. I dumped his body. Teddy a cold white boy. Teddy said, are you serious? I lied. I killed him. I shot him. I dumped his body. And she just blacked out. She blacked out. 10 seconds. You could have waited, sister. You could have waited 10 seconds. But she reached the boiling point. She's been trying to kill this man for however long now. She reached the boiling point. So now let's get to the series finale. I know I talked about Leon and Sissy. Let's get to the series finale. So Franklin obviously didn't get the money. Went to visit his mom in jail. His mom didn't say nothing to him. And I took that from Franklin just focused on the money. Yes, she could have waited, but Franklin didn't who am I to say what I would have did if I literally lost out on $30 million in the blink of an eye? Who to say? Who for me to say, well, if when I saw my mom, I would have said, I don't know what I would have said to my mom. I told y'all before, I wouldn't let her at the meeting or even definitely not even ask him a question during this time period. So Franklin came to the jail. Mom, you could have just waited. You could have waited. Woo. Why you didn't wait? And what I got from that, Sissy was just looking at him like, you're not seeing what has transpired. Uncle Jerome is dead. Numerous people have died throughout this journey, and you still just focus on the money and the power. Teddy dead. Teddy is dead. You have no more resources left. That whole game that you've been running for the past however many years is gone. Oso is back in Mexico. Teddy is dead. It's over with, Franklin. It's over with. Then tells mom, hey, mom, the house I bought you, I need you to sign it back over to me so I can figure this out. And the guy came to his house. I think the dude came to his house with a all right plan. I got to rewatch it, but I want to say the dude that came to Franklin's house talking about the house and all that, I want to say Franklin might have ended up, I feel like everything that happened before we got to the end of the episode, Franklin could have went any direction, and it might have been better than what he ended up being at the end of the show. So she looking like, you want me to sign over my house? Son, you still focus on this money. And then she probably thinking, whenever you do get a little bit of money, you're going to try to go back in the dope game. So in my opinion, I don't think she saved Franklin. I just think she failed Franklin. And I think Franklin failed her. From their relationship from season 1 to the last episode of Snowfall in season 6, look at their relationship. She know you selling drugs. She trying to get you to go legit. And for you to end up just like your daddy. And for her to be locked up like everybody thought you would be. So they failed each other. None of them saved each other. Whether you want to say from the $30 million or Franklin providing for his mom, being the son and doing what he's supposed to do for his mom, they failed each other in my opinion. And like a lot of people saying, that scene where his mom walked up and he was drunk visiting her and cussing her out and all that, that just sums it up. They failed each other. She looking at Franklin like, this not my son. This not the son I remember when we was riding that night and I saw him. I said, there go your dad. Go say hi to your dad. A lot of callbacks too, by the way, in this series finale. Thank God for Twitter and Facebook. Putting up different scenes from season 1 to season 6 and, bringing it back full circle. I really enjoyed seeing those. But in the end up, how he ended up like his dad at the end of the episode, they failed each other. Leon, I said before, Franklin just, I don't want to say like a big brother role, but just seeing Leon as just his understudy damn near. Like, oh, I'm big bruh, you little bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think he fully respected Leon at the end of the series. But Leon had faith. He visited him again and everything, which I'm going to talk about at the end. But Leon, out of everybody, Leon had the most hope for Franklin, I believe. But for him to come back years later and see Franklin in that state that he did, he was able to talk to him, walking down the street like, yo, this still my boy from, childhood. But to see him like that at the end, he was like, man, if anybody know how a drug addict look, it'll be Leon. So he was like, man, this my boy. I'm upset. And even at the end, he was like, man, I'm bringing up the shelter again. If you want some work to do, I got you. I want to say even at the end of the series, Leon was out the drug game because he was like Wanda in music. Him and Wanda not together. I want to say Leon might have been out the drug game. And that's been Leon's thing since he mistakenly killed Scully's daughter a few seasons ago. He's been like, yo, ever since that, he hasn't been the same. So Leon got his wake-up call a little bit earlier. Of course, he was still teetering on being in the drug game, being out the drug game, going with Wanda to Africa and everything. But when he killed that girl in that car, that was his wake-up call. Sadly, I don't think Franklin got his wake-up call till he lost everything. He didn't have nothing else to fall back on once he got his wake-up call. But Leon, he was a friend. He was a friend. Like, I loaned you $500,000 already. I'm not about to give you no more money. This is still the drug game at the end of the day. It is not like you telling me I got a plan set up for the next week. You telling me years from now you're going to pay me back. And like I said, Leon don't even want to be in the game no more. So Leon, I think he did what he had to do. When you reach a boiling point, who knows what you're going to do? $500,000, $3 million, it's a lot. And Franklin just didn't see Franklin, bruh, it's over with. You done. Your connect is gone. You don't got nobody to move it for you. It's a wrap, man. Going to his fiance, his wife, V. Like I said before, everything with them for the past however many, whenever V came on the scene, everybody felt like she was going to do something underhanded eventually. Clearing out the bank account after seeing Franklin kill Teddy dad in front of her and her mom giving her words like, I don't want you around here with my grandson. And she's like, no, I'm going to ride with Franklin. Now, she will ride with Franklin now. She was riding with him, but a woman can ride with you for however many years, however long she want to. When you put your hands on her, threaten her in any kind of way, plus she pregnant with your child, and y'all got a joint bank account, you got to think, Shawty might clear me out. She might clear you out. That's just a woman being a woman, y'all. Oh, V did him dirty, whoop-de-whoop. All right. Let that man put his hands on you when you're pregnant with his child and come back and holler at me. So, shockingly, V, she did do something underhanded, but I can't blame her. I can't blame her. She been trying to get Franklin to go legit as well for years. I can't blame her. Auntie Louie, she does have a lot to do with how this story ended, in my opinion. And it goes back to season 1 where the woman was telling Franklin, like, Louie, now you gotta watch her. Man, boy, Louie, you gotta watch her. Sometime in life, people gonna tell you things along your journey. Me, I listen to them. Whether I take consideration what you're saying or not, I'm gonna give you the courtesy and I'm gonna listen to what you got to say. Sometimes somebody's gonna whisper something in your ear or tell you something, gonna make your ear stand up a little bit. You're like, huh? Somebody come to me tell me, Tyler, watch out for whoop. You gonna look at him like, bro, be for real. Then you're gonna look back and be like, why would they tell me that? They told you about Louie. We've been saying it for the past few seasons. Louie, Jerome dying. Jerome wanted to get out the game. He was in the process of probably making his last deal, getting out the game. He got killed. Him and Kane. I really didn't agree with how Jerome died, honestly. I never talked about it on the podcast, but if he were going to die, at least have him die another way. Don't die with him shooting Kane and Kane shooting him and they just both dying. I feel like Jerome, he's so important to the show. He could have had a better death, in my opinion, but the cause of it was Louie. The cause of it was Louie. And she on the run. That's just all I got from her. She was on one scene in the whole episode. She's just on the run at this point. And last but not least, the final vision, the final image we saw of Franklin Saint. Let's go back a little bit before we get to that. You met with your private investigator. Your private investigator said, hey, man, I can't find V. She off the map. I did everything I could. I can't find V. She gone. But I do got some information you've been looking for. Information on Peaches. D. Ray Davis character. Peaches, drug addict, was his driver for many years. Got on drugs. Stole about $5 million from Franklin, if I'm not mistaken, about $5 million. Franklin been looking for him. Couldn't find him. Private investigator finally found him. So you would think somebody steal $5 million, they might go to another country, Spain, Italy, an island somewhere. If anything, you're not going to be in California. This whole time, Peach is just 20, 25 miles up the street. Now, if that couldn't tell you Franklin was not thinking correctly, I don't know what will. Franklin could have found Peaches. James St. Patrick and Tommy would have found Peaches if he only 20, 25 miles up the street. So that was odd to me. I was like, damn, Franklin couldn't even find a dude who was 20, 25 miles up the street in a dope house? So that was weird, but found Peaches, shot Peaches, killed Peaches, found the safe. Oh, the money got to be in here. Found the safe, called the guy over to open the safe for him. And keep in mind, this whole time, after Sissy killed Teddy, Franklin's just drowning himself in alcohol at this point. A guy who didn't even drink like that. So he's been on a drunk terror for the past however many months, however many years at this point. He just been drinking himself to death. Called the guy over. While the guy working on the safe, another addict comes in. He's about to call the police. Franklin got to kill him. So now there's 2 dead bodies in there. He got the guy who opened the safe for him. The guy opened the safe. Franklin like, hey, count how much in there. $12,000. $12,000 left out of $5 million. For one, if a junkie steals $5 million from you, you cannot expect to see that $5 million again. The fact that you found $12,000 is like, oh, shit. It's more than I thought you. I thought he would clean them out for real. A junkie, you give a junkie steal $5 million from you. out of all that time that done passed since that happened, I'm surprised he had $12,000 left. So he told the guy, man, take it. That's yours. The guy leaving, Franklin killed him. Okay, I expected that. He wasn't about to let him leave out with bodies and $12,000 of his money. So I wasn't shocked that he killed the man. So he killed the guy. Then we skipped to Leon going to Franklin's mom's house and seeing Franklin in that state. But Tony Soprano would have did something with that $12,000. Ghost and Tommy would have did something with that $12,000. The Wire, Marlo, they definitely would have did something with that $12,000. Shit, Tariq would have did something with that $12,000, in my opinion. I just took from that, either two things happened. Either Franklin didn't take the money at all, or Franklin took that $12,000. Fast forward, we see what he did with that $12,000. He drunk himself to death, and he became a drug addict from that $12,000. That was Franklin's decision to end up the way he ended up. You cannot blame Sissy on the way he ended up. You can't blame V. You can't blame Leon. No, it wasn't $30 million. No, it wasn't 800, however many V stole. No, it wasn't $3 million that you asked Leon or that you demanded from Leon damn near. But $12,000. Tyler is not a mathematician. Tyler is not the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. But in California, in late 80s, early 90s, $12,000, Franklin Saint, the guy who started as a weed dealer and ended up being the kingpin, you mean to tell me out of all these years, Franklin, you didn't learn anything? You can't flip $12,000? You can't possibly be like, all right, even if you don't flip it, you can just think, sigh of relief. I'm out the game. I done lost my mom, my uncle, my friend. He ain't rocking with me like that. My fiance, my child gone. She done cleaned me out. California, you ran its course. It's time for me to leave, start a new life. Nobody's looking for me. Yeah, the addicts and all that are dead in the house. California, LAPD is not worried about who did that. And they definitely not thinking Franklin Saint did it. The girl who stayed next door to me for so many years, I caused her family harm, her dad and everything. Think about everything. My dad, he claimed he didn't care about his dad. The person he didn't care about the most is the person he ended up being. That's crazy. And it's real. I'm not here saying, oh, that's some bullshit, Franklin. We know Franklin could have did something at 12,000. No. It's some people, y'all, when they hit rock bottom, is no way to go for them. The phrase always, you at the top, there's only one way to go down. Some people, when they at their down, they don't look at, oh, I got a mountain to climb. I'm going to get back up top, but it's going to take a while. I'm going to struggle, but I'm going to get back up there. Man, to some people, when they hit rock bottom, they don't see no up. They don't see no up. They just comfortable being down. And I'm just assuming Franklin took that 12,000, drunk himself to death, got on drugs. We saw when Leon pulled up, the guys was outside with the gun. At first, I was like, oh, shit, Franklin probably got a little setup. You know what I'm saying? The guys outside with the gun, but he was like, hey, anybody live here? He was like, yeah, somebody in there, if you want to call that living. I was like, oh, my God. Walk up to the door, eviction notices and all that. Knocking on the door, you see Franklin with the dirty, beaten up, white beater, pants dirty, teeth messed up, eye socket bleeding. It's like, damn, Franklin, what happened to you? Last we saw, you had 12,000 sitting there. What'd you do with the 12,000? He was so focused on the money and the power, he couldn't even see nothing else. Once Sissy killed Teddy, he couldn't even see nothing else. If it ain't that $30 million or whatever that Teddy stole from me, if it ain't what Leon was about to give me, if it ain't what V took out the bank account, I don't even want it. That's his attitude, I believe. He didn't want nothing less than what he could have got from his bank, Teddy, or Leon. Even $12,000. And, of course, you see the different imagery, them walking through their old neighborhood. They walking through the set of Boys in the Hood, which was a great, great tribute to John Singleton, in my opinion. Going to the liquor store, they was like, that's the liquor store he worked at and everything. Leon gave him like $10, $20, and he was so excited about it. That's how you know. Franklin Saint was geeked up off $10 Leon gave him to go to the liquor store. Franklin Saint, the same guy who rode private planes, suited up, had all this real estate, everything shut down to the point where he didn't take anything from his journey to think $12,000. I can start fresh somewhere. No, you're not going to be the Franklin Saint drug kingpin no more, but you can be something better than what you ended up being, just like your daddy was. The only reason why I'm not crazy about, like, damn, why didn't have Franklin do this, do that? It reflect reality. It's loosely based on Freeway Rick Ross' story. Sometimes when you in that game, they always tell you end up two places, dead or in jail. But a lot of times, suffering can be a lot worse than both of them. Suffering. You go into the liquor store, you seeing the young bucks outside. Oh man, y'all didn't know what I used to do back in the day. Man, I was a millionaire. I owned all this. Man, if you'll get your old junkie ass away from me, you know what I'm saying? That's his reality now. If he would have went to jail, they'd be like, oh, that's Franklin Saint. And if he ended up dead, oh, Franklin Saint was the man, bro. He had all this on lockdown. Then you go to his real life. He's outside in the street. He's free. But like what he was saying, I'm free. But at what cost? What you gonna do? Walk around, keep on telling everybody what you was some years ago? Oh man, we don't believe all that. You wanna know you ain't had no millions of dollars and you wasn't working with the government. Man, get you high. Gone. You high. That's way more embarrassing than being in jail. To have people tell you to your face that you lying about something. Of course, it's a TV show, but of course, you know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. It's reality. It's people like that out here. Man, I did this back in the day. Man, all right, whatever you say, cool. That's my opinion. Franklin, if it weren't for that $12,000, I'd been like, damn, nobody helped him out. But if nobody's helping you out and you come up on a little something to flip, you got to do what you got to do. But Franklin, he drugged himself up. He drunk himself to death. But they nailed it, in my opinion. I was not mad about the series finale of Snowfall. I was not mad. Great, great show. Words of a spinoff. I'm not sure how I feel about that yet, but if they do, I'll talk about that. But overall, Snowfall, kudos. I enjoyed it. So now let's talk about some sports. I told y'all. It's very rare I can come over here and say I told y'all, but I told y'all. Over the weekend, Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia in Las Vegas. Gervonta Davis took the win in a 7-round knockout. I came over here last week and said I expect the knockout in round 6 or 7. Tank did it. He hit Ryan with some good shots. Speaking of that second round knockdown, oh my God, what a shot. And the thing about it, Ryan was taller than Gervonta, so he had to reach, but Gervonta could just easily, you know what I'm saying, duck those high, because he couldn't get his body, so he had to go for the head. So it was easy for Tank to duck him. When he caught him in the second round, oh, that was it. Because that's when Ryan felt his power, and he knew what Tank can do. So then, for the next however many rounds, Ryan was kind of frigid to try to punch Tank. But the 6th round, he came out a little aggressive. But the second round, when Tank caught that liver, when I saw that nose bleeding a little bit more than what it was already, I said, oh, yeah, he feeling it now. And he went down, and he was like, man, I can't. And I was telling my boy Zoko, we was at Twin Peaks watching, I said, man, them body shots got to hurt. Them body shots, when you get hit on your ribs and your side and your liver, I said, that shit got to hurt. And just like he went on the ground, took that knee, he was like, man, I can't even do it no more. So shout out to Tank Davis. It was a very entertaining night because some of the undercard matches was good as well. I don't see a rematch happening no time soon. I don't think there's no reason for a rematch to happen anytime soon. But shout out to Tank Davis. And on May 20th, Devin Haney has a fight as well. I want to say he's fighting Lomachenko if I'm not mistaken. So that's a good fight I'm waiting on too. May 20th, Devin Haney fight. We still waiting on Errol Spence and Crawford fight. Canelo has a fight Cinco de Mayo weekend as well. So in the boxing world, it is some fights out there that we waiting on, but mostly we still waiting on Errol Spence and Crawford to get finalized whenever they decide to. But shout out to Gervonta Tank Davis. He got the seventh round knockout on Ryan Garcia. Now, NBA playoffs, of course, like I said, still in effect. At the time I'm recording, this is the series situation. So by the time y'all hear this, some of these series might be closed out or the game leads or something like that. It might have changed. But for right now, I'm going to give y'all the updates and some storylines to take away from these playoff series at the moment. Nuggets, Timberwolves. The Nuggets are leading the series 3-0. I came on here and said I had the Nuggets in 5, but I was about to say a sweep because I got a lot of pressure on the Nuggets and Jokic to do something in these playoffs besides get an exit early before the Western Conference Finals and really the NBA Finals, in my opinion. But at the time, they are leading the Timberwolves 3-0. If they sweep, cool. If not, I do have them in 5. My Lakers versus the Grizzlies. A lot of things going on to this. The Lakers do have the lead at the moment, 2-1. Ja Morant suffered an injury in Game 1. He was out for Game 2, but the Grizzlies did win Game 2. Anthony Davis gave us a scare as well in Game 1, saying he couldn't feel his arm, but everything seems to be good with that. The main takeaway after Game 2, Dylan Brooks. Like I said, I love Memphis' young, braggadocious attitude, but I love it even better when they get, punched in the mouth and had to humble themselves. And that's the situation. Dylan Brooks was calling LeBron James old, saying, well, I expected LeBron James to drop 40 on me or whatever like that. When you just poking somebody like LeBron James, who really, you can say all that, and LeBron don't even got to come out and give you 40. LeBron could come out and give you 20, 15 assists, 11 rebounds, and do his job. So Dylan Brooks doing that, I don't get it. It just goes to where how people were saying about Draymond, even though Draymond had a ring or two at the time, it's like you got to show something to back up your argument. You got to show something to where we can take you as a threat even in trash talking. Yeah, you can trash talk. Everybody trash talk. What makes you different than everybody else? You don't have no rings to show for it. You don't have no all-star appearances to show for it. You just another guy on the team who's the quote-unquote probably troublemaker on the court, the irritable guy on defense. You're not reliable to shoot threes like that. It's just sometimes you got to humble yourself. Dylan Brooks, you might have put the Memphis Grizzlies in a situation where it's going to be hard to come back from. I do have this series going to 7 just because I was surprised my Lakers even got to this point. But, yeah, Dylan Brooks might have did something to cause the Grizzlies this series because Anthony Davis is playing spectacular. LeBron doing what LeBron's supposed to do. D'Angelo Russell waking up. Austin Reeves, he's stepping up. Hachimura came up big for us in Game 1. He's going to provide for the rest of the series as well. Once Schroeder get going and once those other role players get going, it's going to be tough for Memphis to do something. Jaren Jackson was nowhere to be found really for Game 3. Ja Morant, he did spectacular in Game 3. But Memphis, Dylan Brooks, I got to have some conversations like, hey, man, shut the hell up. Let us win this series first before you start trash talking. Don't trash talk after we tied the series up 1-1. It's just some things you don't do. But, yeah, Lakers, like I said before, man, they surprising me, and we'll see where it goes. We got the Kings and the Warriors. The Kings lead the series right now at 2-1. Draymond Green was suspended for Game 3, but the Golden State Warriors did end up winning that game without Draymond Green. But I don't think Draymond Green should have been suspended with that play with him and Sabonis. If you see the play, Sabonis was grabbing Draymond Green feet. So, I mean, Draymond did put a little sauce on it, but at the same time, it's like, damn, y'all just not going to mention the fact that dude was holding my foot the whole time. Ain't like I just stumped him just to stump him. Like, he was holding my foot. And I've been saying this about Golden State for the past several years, now, even before they won last year. If you were to tell me I got 3 rings already, it's some things I'm going to just do on the basketball court. I'm going to trash talk. I'm going to get texts. I'm going to get ejected. I got 3 rings to show for it. And we just came up on a 4th ring last year. I'm not mad at Draymond stumping him. You grabbing my foot, man, y'all gonna stump you. I've been saying that about Golden State. I said, man, look, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, even Steve Kerr, the way they carried themselves, they're like, man, we got 3-4 rings, y'all. We are fine. I see a lot of people, the Kings can finish Golden State. I'm sure Steph Curry will be like, okay, they win, cool, but we got 4. We got 4 in the past 8 years. So if I'm Draymond Green, yeah, if you holding my foot while I'm trying to run up at the court, when I get loose, I'm going to kick you a little bit. Get your hand off me. I don't blame Draymond Green for doing it. I don't think he should have got suspended, and I don't blame him for kicking Sabonis. You grabbing my foot. Let go. But the thing with Golden State, they can't win on the road. Like I said, Sacramento, a team I didn't see a lot of in the regular season. Fox, Monk, Sabonis, they coming out party. Got to make the best of it. Suns, Clippers. The Suns lead the series at the moment 3-1. Paul George, of course, out for the Clippers, and now Kawhi Leonard seems to be out for the Clippers for the rest of the series. So I got the Suns finishing this up in probably about 5. Westbrook did what he needed to do for the game 4, but like I said before, man, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, Booker, Aiden still needs to probably get going, in my opinion. He needs to get it going quick. Probably for the closeout game needs to be Aiden game, but we'll see. But with the loss of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, I don't see the Clippers really definitely not winning this series, but I really don't even see them going past 5 with that. Now in the Eastern Conference, gets a little funny. We got the Bucks versus the Heat. I had the Bucks winning this series, but at the moment, the Heat is leading 2-1 with Giannis from the Bucks being out due to injury. We'll see how that play a role in this series. The Heat might can steal one if Giannis is not available for the rest of this series. It makes for a very interesting Eastern Conference if Giannis doesn't come back in time to help the Bucks beat the Heat in this first round. And Victor Oladipo for the Miami Heat as well suffered an injury. He just been going through it since like 2019 or something like that. I think I saw a stat on SportsCenter. It was like for the past however many years, he's missed 65% of the games. And it's sad, man. Victor Oladipo, a very talented guy, but those injuries, man, that injury bug just doesn't seem to go away. We got the Celtics versus the Hawks. The Celtics lead the series 2-1. The Hawks did get one in Atlanta, which I thought was very, very crucial because it looked like for a minute the Hawks about to get swept. And like I said, the Hawks got swept. I feel like either way, I think Trae Young is out in Atlanta, but they got swept. I think that would have been a scene in State Farm, like booing Trae Young probably if they would have got swept. But, I mean, the thing with the Atlanta Hawks, one, the Boston Celtics just clearly the better team in my opinion, so they're going to win this series. But the thing about the Hawks, they just haven't been consistent all year. They've been like literally like 500 all year. They'll lose 1, win 2, lose 3, win 1. They've been too inconsistent. I didn't see it coming. I said it in the preseason when they got Murray. I said, yo, that's a steal. A lot of people don't understand what happened when they got Murray. I've been proven wrong. I thought they'll be a lot better than what they came out to be. But in my opinion, the Boston Celtics is just a better team. If the Hawks can tie it up at 2-2, that would be cool to see how it play out. Also, we had our first series come to an end. We had the 76ers sweep the Brooklyn Nets in 4 games. Joel Embiid was out for Game 4. He suffered an injury in Game 3. I think they're saying the hopes are that the Hawks and the Celtics series prolong so it gives time Joel Embiid to rest. But the team stepped up overall. Maxey, Tobias Harris. They had some guys come off the bench, hit some big shots. But what I've been doing with this series on Twitter especially, I've been keeping up with James Harden stats because people have been saying, like, why you know what I'm saying, pointing out James Harden. And I'm saying I'm not looking for James Harden to be the guy on the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm simply looking at James Harden numbers and how he's playing throughout the playoffs because he's the one guy who I say he's in that top 3, top 3 for people who I'm looking to be consistent in the playoffs. And so far, his numbers haven't been consistent enough for me to be like, okay, the Philadelphia 76ers can make a run, especially in the next series if they play Boston Celtics. That means James Harden got to be consistent. That's why I'm doing that. I'm not doing it to be stat guy or nothing like that. I'm just like, no, I'm just paying attention to what James Harden doing. game by game. And if they play the Boston Celtics series, or they play Boston Celtics next series, y'all going to see why. That's all I'm doing. But for the Brooklyn Nets, they seem to have a bright future. Like I said, I think they're just missing that superstar. Mikal Bridges could be that guy. I mean, he's a great two-way player as well. But I think they're still missing some pieces. You know what I'm saying? They're missing some pieces. And clearly, as we can see, they got swept in the first round to the Philadelphia 76ers. Last in the East, we got the Cavaliers versus the Knicks. The Knicks lead the series 2-1. Not for much for me to talk about with this series. It's very entertaining. I've been enjoying it. Julius Randle, Donovan Mitchell, Garland, R.J. Barrett, Brunson. It's been very entertaining. That's all I can really say about that series. I did have the Knicks winning that in 6, so we'll see how it goes. So thank y'all for tuning in. This has been episode 208 of Stash House Podcast. Make sure you guys go out, have a great work week, a great school week, drink plenty of water, stay healthy, exercise, do what you need to do. If you're traveling, be aware of your surroundings, stay safe. Keep me in prayers. I do the same for y'all. Salute.